Hello, hello, comadres. Welcome to the new moon in Scorpio report. I am Marlene, your moon goddess, and as always, it is amazing to share space with all of you. Thank you for your support in these reports. Jamie asked me earlier this week if I wanted to continue doing these in 2022, and my answer was a resounding yes. I always feel so much love and so much support from all of you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. So today we are going to be talking about Scorpio. There's a new moon in Scorpio. We're in the midst of Scorpio season. And first of all, for any new comadres to astrology, new moons are that time where the moon is dark in the sky, and it symbolizes new beginnings, things that you want to move forward with, ideas, relationships, people, depending on what the sign is that the new moon is. Those are the themes that we usually are being manifested around us, and those are the ones that we get to focus on. So this new moon is in Scorpio. But before we go there, I just want to take a moment. I brought my cacao with me today because I want to take a moment to celebrate that Mercury is out of its shadow phase as of yesterday. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I mean, wow, what a Mercury retrograde we had. And then what a post shadow transit we had. So I'm going to take a sip to that celebration right now. Because with an open heart, I am grateful. And it was a toughie for a lot of us. I know for me it was, and it was a Mercury retrograde in Libra. So it was really centering around relationships and primarily our relationship dynamics and those shadowy aspects of Libra where we give away our power, where we, for the sake of harmony and peace, we sacrifice our truth and we hold back our truth. And I'm sure that these themes came up for you as they did for everyone. So take a moment to, now that we're over that, take a moment to think, what did I learn? What did I learn about relationships? What did I learn about myself? These shadowy times and these retrogrades, they happen for a reason. They really force us to slow down. And I know a lot of you have heard me say this over and over again, but these are the moments when we are slowing down and we are challenged that we really get to know ourselves. And in this particular transit, it was we getting to know ourselves with the other, in relation to the other, which is Libra. So now that we're out of that, what has ended? And when I say ended, it's not only like if a relationship actually ended, but what ended for you? Was it a certain habit that you had in relationships? Was it something that you're not tolerating anymore? Is it something like bringing in new people into your life, bringing in a new vibration into your life, magnetizing the tribe that vibrates with you right now and is moving you into the places that you want to go? So what came up for you? What did you learn? And what ended? And Venus, which is the ruler of Libra, is in Sagittarius right now. And with that transit, I want to bring up that transit because since it is the ruler of Libra and it, Mercury just finished its shadow phase, it went past the galactic center, which is 29 degrees of Sagittarius. So as Venus was passing through this area, she wants to learn and she wants to know. And there's a new wisdom or a new insight that maybe came to you about relationships that might be beyond your experience, or you think that might be beyond your level of maturity. Is there something that you gained, almost like Uranian, where it comes in like lightning and electricity? Is it something that after this transit, you just know? You just know it in your heart. You just know it in your bones. And I really want you to take the time to reflect on these things because this is how we honor the process. This is how we honor the process of going through our shadow. This is how we honor the process of learning the hard lessons. And then this is how we can take stuff forward and really, really make meaningful integration and meaningful change in our lives. So celebrate yourselves for what you've learned. So like I was saying, new moon in Scorpio is new beginnings. And with this Scorpio new moon, it's going to get interesting because November is going to be a doozy. Let's just breathe that in right now. And I'll tell you why. Because there's a lot of scorpionic energy. And right now there's a lot of scorpionic energy. And as the month continues, that is just going to increase and increase and increase. This particular new moon is squared by Saturn, hard square with Saturn. And it is also opposing Uranus almost exactly. And what this means is a lot of intensity and a lot of transformation and sudden awakenings, sudden insights, things that come in, like I was saying, like lightning, like electricity. So this reminds me of stuff that we talked about during Leo season. And Leo season is back in the end of July, beginning of August. And for some of us, this summer was particularly difficult. And especially Leo season had sort of these same oppositions and hard squares. And I remember that time being particularly challenging. So if you do keep journals, look back from July 21st to August 19th, 20th, 21st, and see what was going on, because some of these same challenges are being opposed in this new moon. And when Saturn squares a sign, or there's an opposition to a sign, what this means is that there's a hard conversation. A square is a harder conversation that sometimes doesn't have a resolution. And an opposition is a hard conversation, but with an opposition, there is always a way out. It may be hard, it may be challenging, it might not be in front of you, but there is a way out. And with Scorpio, it's about hidden stuff. It's about information that is hidden that then comes to light. It's about your privacy. It's about your secrets. It's about knowledge that is, and wisdom that is within that then comes forward. So we won't see the full expression of this new moon because of the hard oppositions that it has to Saturn and to Uranus. So if you are trying to kick things off and you're finding that it's a little bit challenging right now, a lot of patience and grace with yourself, because we are transforming. We are in the season of death. And what I mean by season of death is that, yes, we do honor our ancestors and we honor the dead, especially during Samhain, or what we know as Halloween. And also the Day of the Dead on the 1st, that whole from the 31st of October to the 2nd, we are honoring our ancestors, our loved ones that have passed. But Scorpio in itself represents death, and in a high transformative way. And we are constantly dying to ourselves. We are constantly rewriting narratives, rewriting stories. But another thing we are constantly doing is being reborn. Reborn into new versions of ourselves, being reborn into new ideas, into new concepts, into new relationships. And because Venus is still because Venus passed the galactic center, which is an intense part of the entire zodiac, an intense placement, relationships are kind of still on the forefront. Okay. So if there is some intensity that comes up there, just know that you are being given insight. You are being given information for you to use. And if you can step up from a bigger perspective, from a greater perspective, from a bird's eye view, and you can look at the dynamics the way that they're happening, you may see hidden information and hidden knowledge there that you did not see before, that Scorpio may be bringing to light for you. So sudden revelations, higher perspectives, okay? Bring yourself, try to get out of the details of it and into a greater perspective of whatever it is that you're transforming, or whatever it is that you're looking at right now, or whatever it is that's showing up in your life with intensity and is demanding your attention. So Scorpio's influence, like I said, gets more intense throughout the month of November. And Mars in Scorpio wants deep connections. Like at this point, you are demanding a deeper connection to everything in your life, including the people around you. And we're being kind of cutthroat about it because Scorpio is kind of cutthroat about everything and really radical and intense and extreme. And it's all or nothing with them, you know? So we are looking at those relationships right now and we are being cutthroat. And you may find yourself in these kinds of situations, whether they be professionally, whether they be personally. But what is it that you just can't do anymore? And it's not that you can't do it. It's that you won't. It's that you don't want to. It's that it's not in resonance with you. It's that it needs to go. It needs to end. It needs to die. So that you could live. And I'm going to say that again. What needs to die for you to live? And I hope that in the full moon, if you did catch the report, you use some of the suggested rituals or suggested practices that we talked about during that time, because this would make this new moon an easier entry. You know, this would make things, intense, but I mean, aren't we used to intense about now? You know? So that's when the work has its rewards, where you can actually go through an intense time with clarity, with a little bit of, work behind it, with a little bit of energy behind it, with a little bit of your attention behind it. And just know that things like envy come up around Scorpio, jealousy. You might find people are all of a sudden jealous of you because you're shining, you're growing, you're coming out into the light. Or you may find yourself jealous of somebody. That could happen. We're human, but there are positive and negative expressions of every sign, of every planet. And, when we think of Scorpio, we think of all these intense themes and all of this, darkness sometimes. But there are positive things to this. Like what comes to light? What is born out of it? What do we learn? What takes us to the extreme so that then we can find balance again? What do we learn about the people around us and what we are willing to tolerate and what we're not willing to tolerate anymore? Because it just isn't in alignment. And we can do that while still wishing others well, while still wishing them happiness just away from you. And we could really, really mean it from our hearts, not just saying it. So allow yourself to move through these energies and don't be afraid to die to yourself. Don't be afraid to change. And don't be afraid of the consequences of what happens when you do change. Because people don't like it sometimes. And it bothers people that you don't show up the same way. Don't let that stop you. Because evolution is the one thing that we came here to do that is for certain. And change is the one thing that's inevitable. It's always going to happen. everything is impermeable and nothing will stay the same. So the more that we get accustomed to change, the more that we accept change, the more that we flow with the adjustments, even if sometimes it's a little bit painful, the better that we meet challenges later. Like, we show up more powerfully to the same exact situation. And you can feel the subtle changes, not only in your mind and your emotions, but in your body. And your spirit really does ascend and soar. And we hear a lot about ascension, right? Ascending with the body and ascending into the 5D. And really, ascension happens when we accept where we are. Because if you don't accept where you are in the process, then there is no chance that you can change. You're lying to yourself. You're lost in illusions. You're not grounded. Wherever it is that you are in your path, whether it be spiritual, whether it be professional, personal, relationships, just sit and accept where you are. And allow that version of yourself that doesn't like to accept vulnerability or change to just die. And if you have to do a symbolic ritual around that, there's so many. We can burn things, we can bury things, we can have funerals. Do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes to accept those changes, and do it in a holistic way where you bring all your bodies with you. So I pulled a card before we went into the report, and I thought this was interesting. Movement awakens my creative spirit. And this theme has been coming up for me so much, about moving and flowing and dancing and you know, really bringing the body along for the ride. Understanding that this vessel that holds you is intelligent and it has information to give you. And that you won't truly evolve to the next steps unless you bring all your bodies with you. Emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. Unfortunately, we can't skip this part. We gotta take them all. Because it is in bringing all of that together that alchemy happens. That's where the real magic is. Bringing all the elements together, right? Bringing everything to the center. And then move forth from there, more complete, more yourself, more authentic. So thank you for listening. That's all I have for today. Expect new insights, but these new insights are going to start a new cycle for you. Okay? And if you're getting stuck and if you feel afraid, move your body. Move your body. And I promise it'll help. And, you know, look at movement in many ways. You know, if you're like, damn, Marlene, I can't move my body right now. It's cold outside. I'm in a snowstorm, you know? Or move your body, dance, or breathe. Just breathe. Introduce air, the element of air, which means movement. You know, be creative. Movement awakens my creative spirit. And whatever that looks like for you. Thank you. I will see you on the full moon. Enjoy this beautiful, beautiful new moon. And I hope that this served you from the bottom of my heart. I will see you next time. Bye.